guys, today I'm filming my monthly makeup ranking for September. I've had my new lights for a couple weeks now, and I normally have it on the cool setting, but right now I just have it on auto. I feel like I'm looking a little bit bright through my T-zone, and I tried to turn down my lights a little bit, and then my camera is like readjusting back to that brightness. So let me know how the lighting is looking. And I am excited because I have 21 products to rank for you today. I have a couple of things that I would consider to be fails. Some things I think are just fine. Things I think are good. And then I've got some products that I think are absolutely fantastic that I would call them favorites. At number 21, I have my least favorite product of the month, which would be the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Luminous Matte Concealer. Seems like a bit of an oxymoron of a name. I have the color 1.3 Golden Marshmallow, and I was actually worried it was going to be too light, and it wasn't. It was just a little bit lighter than my skin tone. It's in a frosted bottle, so you don't quite know what color you're going to get unless you swatch it, of course. And this is a weird concealer. It does have a matte finish, but on me it looks more of like a light coverage, so it just looked odd under my eyes because I could still see some of that discoloration coming through, or if I have any little spots under my eyes, they were showing. It was clinging on to dryness. It just did not make my under eyes look pretty at all. It was a really fat applicator, but it was very stiff, and I feel like it did not apply a lot of product. So I know that she reformulated her concealer, or at least repackaged it. I don't like it. I would not recommend it. Then at number 20 is something that I would love your all's help with. It's the Phytosurgence Spectral Shine Cream Highlight and Fresh Fog. So you guys are probably able to tell that it's lighter here than here. I did buy their brush, and I was trying to like really work it in there, but to me the brush is not dense enough, and I scratched this with my fingernail, and that's how I was able to get some of the product up. And I know that you really have to work your brush in there, but I'm like, is there a layer at the top that you need to get through, and then it's a little easier to use because it's just crazy. And I have so much face makeup on all the time, so much base makeup that I just don't know how I'm gonna make this work. I've seen people pan it, which I think is amazing. So please share your thoughts with me on how you've been able to get this to apply. If you can think back to when you first got it, did you have to get through a top layer? What brushes do you use? Do you use this and you wear a lot of base makeup? Let me know. But this was very expensive, and I can't get it to work for me. The next two are kind of neck and neck. I actually just switched them from my original ranking. So now at number 19, I have the Lawless Forget the Filler Lip Plumping Line Smoothing Gloss. And this is in Cali Sunset, which is a QVC exclusive shade. Just made a mess there. It's super similar to NARS Orgasm. I really like this applicator. I do think it is pretty unique, and it does pick up a good amount of product. This does have a really pretty glossy shine, as you can see. So that does make your lips look plump. It is a thicker consistency, which I don't mind, but it is sticky, which I don't like. And you guys know, so my favorite glosses are Buxom. I'm wearing one right now. They can be sticky as well. They're the only sticky glosses that I like, because this is thick and sticky. And I have a couple other shades on my wish list. I literally just got one from the Sephora sale, and I think because these are so raved about, I want to like them more than I actually do. I loved this color. I actually paired this most recently with a mauve lip liner, and that combo was super pretty. So I am happy that I have this one. And I know my friend Jean really loves these, but I prefer the Tower 28 Milky Lip Jelly formula over this. I know that's not a plumping line, but just like texture wise, I prefer that gloss over this one. So I need to resist buying the other shades because it's just not my favorite texture at the end of the day. Next at number 18, I have the Too Faced Killer Liner in the shade Killer Turquoise. It's a waterproof liner, and this is a matte turquoise color, and it is really pretty. And on my waterline, for some reason, I had to build this up, which is why it's ranked lower, but it did really stay in place. I was very impressed with the lasting power, and I really love the look that I wore this in. But basically, I have other things that I think are a little bit more exciting, and because of that like layering aspect is why I have it ranked lower, but it looks super pretty and it looks opaque on my hand. So something I'm definitely happy to have. I don't have a color like this in my collection. Very pretty, and I got it half off. The last thing in my fine category would be the Phytosurgence Skin Spark Cream Blushes. I got 2 of the new toasted ones, the lighter 2. So this one is Condensate, which is more cool toned. I was really scared of this one looking too gray on my cheeks, but it was pretty. I did also buy their blush brush to go with these. And then this one is my favorite. This is Evaporate. So this is the toasted peach apricot color. And these are incredibly pigmented. The first time I used one of them, I put my brush right in here. Mistake. You really should, I mean, do what they say on their Instagram. You put your finger in, dot it on your cheeks, and then blend it out. And this does blend out really nicely. They're very, very pigmented, but it doesn't set down all the way. And it's something that just because of that pigment, I have to be a little bit more careful with. But I think that they're very pretty, but I don't know that I'm gonna reach for these over other cream blushes. But I do wanna get more use out of them still. I just do not know that I'm a Phytosurgence girl. I want to be, but I just don't know, because you guys know I love cream shadows, and I'm still trying to get a hang of their cream shadow formula. So please share your tips with me, application, brushes that you use, other, again, base products that you're wearing underneath. Next, I have some products in the good category, and at number 16 would be the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer. And I have the shade Tan Lines. I think this might be the lightest color. I actually already have a bit of a dip in here. And this is actually a very good undertone for me. It is a good shade. However, I almost wish I got one darker, because when I apply it with my e.l.f. small stipple brush, like I always do, first off, when I do it under my foundation, put my foundation on top, I can barely see it at all. But when I put it over top of my foundation, it's a nice light color that is easy to blend. But I do feel like I'm really layering it up to make sure that it shows up on me. And I know my friend Lauren said that she felt like this was a little bit patchy on her. And I haven't quite had that experience, but it's a weird consistency for sure. When you put your finger in there, it feels like a cream. But when you put it on your hand, it's like a super thin matte silicone-y texture. And really on the hand just disappears. So it is interesting. I have other cream bronzers that I like better. And I'm wondering if I would think that this was patchier if I had a deeper shade. So still gonna play with it more. Still like the undertone of this, but I'm not quite sure what I think about the formula. And this is similar, but a little bit better. This is the About Face Cheek Freak Blush Balm. I have the shade Quickie, and this looks orange in the packaging on the camera, but that is the color Raunchy. This is actually more of a corally color. I'm wearing it on my cheeks today, and I like to apply my cream blushes with my Real Techniques buffing brush. This did a great job, and this is a similar cream to balmy powder texture. And I feel like when I applied this, I actually, the first time I used it, put on too much, because I just like really went in there with my brush, not knowing how truly creamy it is. But then when you put it on your hand, it totally has a similar texture to the e.l.f. where it just feels like poof, disappears, like slightly silicone-y, but also almost feels like powdery. I don't know. It is so weird. It's a really weird thing. But I do think it applies on the cheeks nicely. My face does not feel sticky. I did apply this over top of a set face, and it did not disrupt any of my makeup underneath. So I do like that, but I'm not gonna buy any more. I got this for $13.50. I think it was 30% off at Ulta. So I'm happy with it for that price, but I love a cream to powder blush form, but something about this is weird to me, and I will reach for other cream blushes over this one. Next is a product that I am surprised that I like. This is a little mini Fenty Beauty Gloss Balm in Fenty Glow. I got this as a 100-point perk because I thought I was getting the heat version, but it is just the original. So I have tried this original formula in the Fussy shade and I did not like it. So it has a cherry scent like the Kylie lip products, and I don't really like it. However, this one is not as nauseating as the Kylie. This is a really pretty gloss. It's a great peachy nude with some shimmer in it, and I thought it looked so pretty on my lips. This is a bit of a stickier formula. You can see it doesn't have as much color as my Lawless one, but the Lawless one is also separated a little bit now. But this just looks really pretty on the lips. I used a lip liner, then threw this on top. I am happy with this. I'm not going to buy any more, but I do like this color, and I'm glad that I end up liking the formula. At number 13 is another product that surprised me because I also tried this before and didn't love it and returned it. And then I picked it up during 21 Days of Beauty because that was a phenomenal price. The Too Faced Hangover Pillow Balm. I just have the original one because you guys know I don't really like scented lip products unless it's mint, and I was really hoping they would release last year's little mini limited edition mint scents in full sizes. They're not. They came out with a different holiday mini set, and I'm not interested in any of those scents. But this original one, this is a nice thicker lip balm, but it's not sticky and it does feel very smooth and hydrating. This is something I totally see myself putting on at the beginning of my makeup application process, wiping it off at the end and putting on a lip product. I am working on some lip balms right now in that capacity, but I definitely see this as being my go-to for that. Don't think that I would repurchase. I have other lip balms I like a little bit more, but I love the texture of this and the application. I have so many other lip balms that are really in a pot, which is not my favorite to apply. So I definitely like this way more than I thought I would. And my last product in the good category would be the other shade I have of my Pat McGrath Divine Blush Duo. And this one is the color Cosmic Coral. So you have this more like brown shade and then a bright coral color. Even when I've tried to just stay in the brown, it does get some of the coral, and also the coral, I'm not sure if it's because it's the raised part or not, but this is way more pigmented and more powdery than this side. So I do like them mixed together. I like the shades individually. I do think this is very pretty. I'm glad I got it for 30% off, but it's just fine. I have other blushes you're going to see ranked higher. Part of that is for the price and part is because of the other colors and formulas, but I'm really trying to resist Pat McGrath moving forward, except for a couple products. I have really liked her highlighters before, so I am interested in one of her individual highlights. I also am interested in the more rosy tone of her 5-pan palettes for holiday because the price was not that bad on those. If they come to Sephora, I'll probably get it. If it's only going to be on her website, I won't. But like I said, Natasha, Denona, I get the hype. Pat McGrath, I just don't. It's good, but like too expensive. So now we're getting into the top 11. These are my favorites of the month. At number 11, I have 2 more shades of the Buxom Fall Glosses. I ranked one last month, and then they do have one other in the collection, which I didn't get because it's basically a clear with some like multi-dimensional glitters, which is not my thing. And all of these are scented like the drink or food that is in the name. So what I'm wearing on my lips today is this darker color, and I think it looks so pretty. I didn't do a liner or anything because I wanted to keep it this lighter shade. You can see how much shine they give. This is the lip cream formula, which is my favorite, and this color is Spiced Hot Toddy. The smell is so good, and I feel like the lip creams give a light medium opacity. And these are a little bit sticky, but I really don't mind. And then I was so surprised by this one. I have not tried a regular lip polish in such a long time. I find that these have shimmer, that's the difference, but that they're usually not as pigmented. They're just a light opacity, not light medium. This one is a straight up medium. It actually has more opacity than the other two creams I have from this collection. And this is Cami Caramel. I love this peachy color. It is so stunning. Here's what this one looks like, and it does have a little bit of pink in it, if you can see it compared to Fenty Glow. Love this one so much. I am just so impressed with the opacity on this, and the shimmer in here is very, very pretty as well. So the reason that these are at 11 is because I've reviewed and ranked these formulas in different shades so many times, so it's not as exciting as some of these other products. But at number 10, I have a Persona Cream Blush Stick. They have teased that they are going to be launching a new berry shade, which I cannot wait to try. I hope it comes to Ulta. And out of the 3 cream blushes that they have right now, I got the nude shade Teddy. And I'm sure you guys have seen, but did you see that Summer Fridays is launching 3 cream blush sticks, and they are literally the same shades as the Persona. You have a red, a blue tone pink, and a nude. It's crazy how similar they are. So let's support the original. Let's support Persona. You can buy these from Ulta. And anyway, this is the shade Teddy. And this is a really nice creamy formula that I do think is easy to blend. This was pretty easy for me to put on top of a set face, but I didn't, you know, just go in like this. I took it on my brush, swirled it around, and then just like tapped it on my cheeks. This did not make my face feel tacky or sticky afterwards. It just looks super pretty, and I really like this nude brown. I think it's so cute. So definitely happy with this formula and color. At number 9 is another product that totally blew me away. I did not expect to like this as much as I do, and that would be the ColourPop Glowing Lip. There were 2 shades available at Ulta. They were half off, and I used a coupon on top of them, 20% off, I think. So I got these for a really good price. And this is the nude color on the Ulta website called Indulge Me. And I had heard people really rave about these, but except for the lippy pencils, I do not like other ColourPop lip products. But here is Indulge Me. This is really good. So this is more of a light to medium opacity lipstick, but it's nice and creamy. It feels more substantial than a tinted balm, and I loved the way that this looked on my lips. I'm honestly just so impressed with this, and I'm not gonna go crazy, but I did get the pink shade from Ulta, and I did just buy one other color from the ColourPop website. So hopefully I like that just as much, but if this is still half off at Ulta, I definitely recommend you guys go pick it up. Next at number 8 is something that I've had for a while, but I really haven't given much attention to because I've been panning bronzers over the last few years. But this is the Fenty Sun Stalk'r Bronzer in Shady Biz, which is the second lightest shade. This is so good. This is a great warm tone bronzer that is not orange. This also is very pigmented. The color is a little bit deeper, like I told you guys, depending on the range. I sometimes prefer to go for the second lightest shade in a bronzer range. This is perfect. It blends out so nicely, but you can build it up. I am so impressed with this formula, and this is a fantastic shade for me. At number 7, I have 2 more of the new Benefit blushes, and this first one is Terra, which does have shimmer, but no glitter. It looks nice and smooth on the cheeks. And then this matte blush is Pom Pom. So both of these are great neutral shades that I think would actually work really well on a medium or tan complexion, but I can make them work as a fair skin girl as well. These just give a nice amount of color to the cheeks, but you can wear them with more of a heavy, intense eye. And I really like them. I'm very happy to have them. Really a good formula. I definitely recommend them. Next at number 6, I have the medium and deep shade of the Bare Minerals Blonzer. So several months back, I reviewed Kiss It Pink, and I liked it, but I wasn't getting the Blonzer hype. But then I got these, and I really like them. These are a shimmery blush, but they don't look glittery. I don't feel like they accentuate pores too much. They apply very smoothly. So these shades here are Kiss of Copper and Kiss of Rose. So I do need to be light-handed, but ooh, those look so beautiful. At number 5 is a product I really was not sure if I was going to like. The reviews were very mixed on this, but my friend Jean bought it and said she loved it. So about a month ago, Huda Beauty went 20% off at Sephora. So I got the Glowish Soft Radiance Bronzer in Light. I am wearing this today, and I do have a cream bronzer on my forehead underneath, but this blends so nicely. It does show up on me, and as someone that is very fair with light hair also, I have to be careful with the bronzer on my forehead that I don't apply too much or it looks insane, gives me a bronzer helmet. This is so easy to apply a light amount to give me that wash of bronze, but I can also build it up. Really happy with this formula, and the undertone is also really nice and neutral. And then for my top 4, I have palettes because I just find these to be the most fun. At number 4, I have the Anastasia Nouveau palette. I didn't use every shade in here, but most of them. I did not use this one, these two, or this one, but I did create several looks with it. I really like these 2 mattes, and they go well with all these other shades. I do think some of these olives are a little bit similar. This one, I only ever smudged it on my lower lash line. I never tried it in the crease or outer corner, so I do want to do that, but I did not mind having this on lower lash line and this as transition crease outer corner shade for all of these looks. I think that like this one especially is so special. I think I wore this when I wore that ColourPop glowing lip. But these are really pretty and special. I love olive eyeshadows, so this is very me. However, I can see how a couple of these shades are just a little too similar. I also really like this ABH formula. I think in the past her shimmers have been a little bit more subtle, and these definitely have more of a metallic punch. Next at number 3 is something that I just got, but I've worn it twice, and that's enough because there's only one shimmer in here. I used every single shade twice. This is the Natasha Denona Mini Bronze Palette. So I have lid, transition, crease, outer corner, and lower lash line. So good. The same amazing Natasha Denona formula, very pigmented, easy to blend. I think that all of these mattes do go so well with the larger bronze palette because there is not a ton of difference in the undertones or the depth of those mattes. So I think this will be a wonderful companion palette, but something that I'm going to reach for a lot traveling or just for like a quick go-to work makeup look. Love this one, and no cream to powder shades. At number 2, I have the Unearthly Cosmetics Lure palette. I used all the shades except for the matte black. This shade here is a matte with glitter, and I was like, great, I'm gonna hate that one because I don't like it with ColourPop. But I actually could not see the glitters on my eye, and that worked as a great transition color. So I was really happy to see that. And the mattes in here are very nice. They're pigmented, they blend nicely. And of course, the shimmers are the star of the show. These are a nice, like smooth, creamy formula, but they're not too thick and wet like the Juvia's Play shadows, which tend to transfer on me. But these, I did not have that issue, and they all are so stunning. I wore these pinks together, and they meshed really well into one another because of the color and the formula. So really happy with this Unearthly Cosmetics palette. It was a great introduction to the brand. And then number 1 is also an Unearthly palette. I wore the both of these together a lot, and this one is the Fall Magic palette, and I actually prefer this one for a couple of reasons. I would rather have more shades at a smaller size than, you know, these are some honker shades, and I know most of their palettes are like this, but I do prefer this style. So these other shimmers really are like foiled metallics, where this one is just like a standard metallic, but it looks so pretty. I really like that kind of color, like an antique gold with a little bronze in it. This right here, Spiced, was my favorite shade. That is a really great muted orange transition color. I liked this one on my lower lash line. I got a lot of use out of Cozy as well. This is like a salmony pink color. For me, the colors I did not get as much use out of would be the 2 of these. I definitely wouldn't use this one very much. You guys know I'm not a fan of dark browns, but I think, well, dark colors in general, but really dark browns. But the undertones of these 2 shades went together really nicely. I think I wore this one with that as well. This was such an amazing metallic, like orangey copper. I wore these 2 together, and they blended into each other so nicely. There is a shade, this one, that is similar to one of the colors in the Lure palette, but when you actually swatch them and put them on the eye, they do look different. This one is lighter and so pretty. I use them all except for this one. I should have incorporated it into a look sooner and didn't, but again, amazing formula. I would say it's the same formula that's in the Lure palette. Definitely looking forward to buying more palettes from them in the future. And I do have some more Unearthly cosmetics I will be testing for you guys for next month. So I know that this was a really long video, but I had so many things to share my thoughts with you on. Please let me know your thoughts on these products in the comments down below. I would also love to know what new things you have tried out recently, and I would love to hear some mini reviews. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.